The racing thoughts arrive like uninvited guests at 3 in the morning, don't they? That familiar tightness in your chest, the endless loop of what-if scenarios spinning through your mind like a broken record player, stuck on the same haunting melody. Your heart pounds against your ribs as if trying to escape, and sleep becomes a distant memory. You're not broken, and you're certainly not alone in this ancient struggle that has plagued human hearts for millennia. Today we'll explore 7 profound Buddhist teachings that have guided countless souls from the storm of anxiety into the sanctuary of unshakable inner peace. The first teaching comes from understanding anxiety's true nature, which is far more illusory than you might imagine. In the monastery where I spent many years studying, I've observed how novice monks often mistake the shadow of a rope for a serpent in the dim temple corridors at dawn. Their hearts race, palms sweat, and adrenaline floods their system, all from an imaginary threat. Anxiety operates with identical deception. It's the mind's tendency to perceive dangers where none exist, to transform neutral situations into life-threatening catastrophes. The Buddha taught us about papanka, the mental proliferation that transforms a single innocent thought into an entire epic narrative of fear and doom. When you receive a brief text from your boss saying, "We need to talk," anxiety immediately begins writing 1,000 different endings to that story. You lose your job, can't pay rent, become homeless, die alone, all from 4 simple words that might precede praise for your excellent work. This is papanka in action, the mind's compulsive storytelling that creates suffering from thin air. When anxiety strikes with its familiar intensity, pause in that very moment and ask yourself with gentle curiosity, am I responding to actual reality unfolding right now, or to the elaborate stories my frightened mind is weaving about an uncertain future? This simple recognition, practiced consistently, begins to dissolve anxiety's hypnotic power over your nervous system. Practice this throughout your day. When worry arises like smoke from a fire, place your hand gently on your heart and whisper with compassion, "This is just thinking, not truth. I am safe in this moment." But there's something even deeper and more surprising at work here that most people never discover. The second teaching reveals anxiety's hidden and shocking addiction that keeps you trapped in cycles of suffering. Yes, your mind is actually chemically and psychologically addicted to worry, finding strange comfort in the familiar patterns of fear that have become your mental home. The Buddha spoke of tanha, our craving for the known, even when what we know brings us nothing but misery. Your anxious mind clings to worry patterns because they feel safer than stepping into the vast unknown territory of peace. I once observed a bird in our monastery garden, freed after years of captivity in a small cage, repeatedly flying back to perch on the bars of its now open prison. Day after day, it would venture a few feet away, then panic and return to the familiar confines that had once trapped it. Your anxiety functions with identical patterns. It's a mental prison you've grown so accustomed to inhabiting that freedom itself feels terrifying. The known suffering feels safer than unknown peace. To break free from this addiction, you must first recognize that uncertainty isn't your enemy to be defeated. It's life's natural state to be embraced. When anxiety arises with its urgent demands for certainty, breathe deeply into your belly and say with conviction, "I welcome not knowing. I trust in life's unfolding mystery." This practice gradually rewires your relationship with uncertainty, from enemy to friend, but the next teaching takes this transformation even deeper into the heart of time itself. The third teaching illuminates the futility of mental time travel that exhausts your spirit daily. Your anxiety lives exclusively in 2 forbidden territories, the regrets and shame of yesterday that can never be changed, and the fears and catastrophes of tomorrow that may never come to pass. The Buddha taught with crystal clarity that suffering exists only when we abandon the eternal present moment, the only place where life actually happens, where peace naturally resides, where your true power lies waiting. Think of your mind as a magnificent river flowing from mountain to sea. Anxiety is what happens when you build mental dams across this natural flow, creating stagnant pools of worry that breed the mosquitoes of endless rumination. I recall sitting by a mountain stream during a particularly difficult period, watching how water never struggles against the rocks in its path. It simply flows around them with effortless grace, always moving toward its destination. The water doesn't worry about the rapids ahead or regret the stones it passed yesterday. It exists fully in the present moment of flowing. This is your invitation to return home to now, to the only moment that exists, the only moment where peace lives. When anxiety attempts to kidnap you into past regrets or future fears, anchor yourself firmly in present reality with this powerful practice. Name 5 things you can see right now, 4 things you can physically touch, 3 sounds you can hear in this moment, 2 scents you can smell, and 1 taste you can detect in your mouth. This isn't just distraction, it's a return to reality, a coming home to the present moment where anxiety cannot survive. But here's where most people stop their practice, missing the profound shift that's about to occur in their understanding of control. The 4th teaching exposes the exhausting illusion of control that feeds your anxiety like fuel feeds fire. You exhaust your precious life energy trying to control outcomes, other people's decisions, circumstances beyond your influence, everything except the one thing you actually possess, complete authority over, your conscious response to whatever life presents. The Buddha taught about anicca, the fundamental impermanence of all phenomena. Your anxiety stems directly from fighting this cosmic truth, from trying to make permanent what is eternally flowing and changing. Imagine yourself standing in a river, attempting to hold the flowing water in your cupped hands. The tighter you squeeze your fingers together, the faster the water escapes between them. This perfectly illustrates how control works in your life. The more desperately you grasp, the more quickly everything slips away, leaving you frustrated and afraid. In the monastery we have a saying, the bamboo that bends in the storm survives, while the rigid oak breaks. Release doesn't mean becoming passive or careless, it means intelligently aligning with reality, rather than exhausting yourself fighting the unchangeable laws of existence. Practice this profound surrender daily, each morning as the sun rises. Identify one specific worry that has been consuming your mental energy and consciously release your death grip on controlling its outcome. Place your hands over your heart and declare with sincere intention, I trust life's intelligent unfolding. I release what I cannot control and embrace what I can influence. Yet the deepest transformation comes from understanding what lies beneath, even this compulsive need for control. The 5th teaching reveals anxiety's secret fuel source, the inner critic that never sleeps, never takes vacation, never shows you mercy. Buddhism calls this the comparing mind, that relentless internal voice that constantly measures your worth, judges your performance, and inevitably finds you lacking in every possible way. This internal narrator creates anxiety by spinning elaborate stories of inadequacy, impending failure, and social rejection. You know this voice intimately. It's the one that reviews every conversation for mistakes, predicts disaster in every opportunity, and convinces you that everyone else has life figured out while you're stumbling in darkness. During my years in meditation training, I've observed how our harshest criticism of others often mirrors perfectly the cruel ways we speak to ourselves in private moments. Your anxiety lessens dramatically when you begin treating yourself with the same unconditional compassion you would naturally offer to a beloved friend in distress. This isn't positive thinking or fake self-love. It's recognizing that you are both the wounded child and the loving parent within your own heart. The practice is simple in concept, but revolutionary in impact. When self-criticism arises, like a familiar poison in your mind, immediately place both hands over your heart, feel the warmth and rhythm of your own life force, and speak to yourself exactly as you would to someone you love deeply, who was struggling with identical challenges. Sweetheart, you're doing your absolute best with the understanding and resources you have right now. You are enough exactly as you are. You are learning and growing with each breath. I love you unconditionally. This isn't mere sentiment, it's medicine for the soul. But there's an even more profound shift waiting in the shadows of acceptance. The sixth teaching completely transforms your relationship with difficult emotions from warfare to partnership. Instead of seeing anxiety as a dangerous enemy to be defeated, destroyed, or escaped from, Buddhism teaches us to welcome it as a wise teacher carrying important messages about our attachments, our resistance patterns, and our deepest needs for compassion. Every anxious moment, no matter how uncomfortable, carries within it precious seeds of wisdom. It shows you exactly where you're clinging too tightly, where you're resisting life's flow, where your heart most needs tender attention. Think of anxiety like a crying child who has wandered into your living room in the middle of the night. The child doesn't need to be silenced, ignored, or sent away. It needs to be heard with patience, understood with compassion, and held with unconditional love until it naturally calms. I often share with students that our emotions operate like weather patterns in the vast sky of consciousness. They arise from invisible conditions, reach their peak intensity, and naturally dissolve when we stop feeding them with our resistance and start nourishing them with our acceptance. Next time anxiety visits your inner landscape, try this radical and transformative approach. Instead of contracting in fear or immediately seeking escape, breathe deeply into the sensations. Soften your body around the discomfort like warm honey, and ask with genuine curiosity, "What are you trying to teach me, dear anxiety? What do you need me to understand about my life right now?" This acceptance doesn't mean passive resignation to suffering. It means entering into conscious partnership with your complete emotional landscape. But the final teaching reveals the ultimate secret that changes everything. The seventh and most profound teaching unveils the liberating truth that anxiety and peace are not mortal enemies locked in eternal combat. They're different expressions of the same essential life, energy, like waves and ocean, like clouds and sky. When you finally stop fighting anxiety, when you cease the exhausting attempt to eliminate it from your human experience, something absolutely miraculous begins to happen. The tremendous energy you were using to resist and control begins flowing freely again through your system, like a river released from winter ice. The Buddha discovered through decades of deep investigation that enlightenment isn't the permanent absence of difficult emotions. It's the presence of unshakable awareness that can hold absolutely anything without being disturbed, overwhelmed, or identified with what it contains. Your natural state isn't the complete absence of anxiety, worry, or fear. It's the vast, spacious consciousness within which all emotions can arise, be fully felt, and dissolve naturally without disturbing your essential peace and well-being. This is exactly like the sky remaining forever untroubled by the storms that pass through it, like the ocean remaining fundamentally calm beneath the waves that dance on its surface. These seven teachings work together like skilled musicians in a sacred orchestra, creating a symphony of inner transformation that can reshape your entire relationship with fear and peace. You don't need to perfect each teaching before moving to the next. You need only to begin where you are, with whatever capacity you currently possess. Start with whichever teaching resonates most deeply in your heart today, and trust that your sincere practice will naturally unfold the others, like flowers blooming in perfect season. Remember always, the path from anxiety to peace isn't about becoming someone entirely different from who you are now. It's about remembering and returning to who you've always been beneath the accumulated layers of fear, beneath the noise of the worried mind, beneath the stories of inadequacy. Your peace isn't something you need to create, it's something you need to uncover. If this exploration has brought you even a single moment of clarity, a breath of relief, or a glimpse of possibility, I humbly invite you to like this video and subscribe for more wisdom from the ancient contemplative path. Share your own insights and discoveries in the comments below. Your unique journey might be exactly the encouragement another anxious heart needs to hear today.